Hello and welcome, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Ian and this video is part of a series which follows me as I ride my Royal Enfield Himalayan to Bulgaria and back. This is the fourth video in the series and covers day 5 of my trip. On this day I rode from Berchtesgaden across the Grossglockner Pass and down to Dvor in Slovenia. Hope you like it. Well, good morning and welcome back. Last night we spent our time in that hotel there, the Hotel Explorer, and in the surroundings. You can just about see the mountains poking through the cloud. When I arrived yesterday it was beautifully clear, but then last night we had a thunderstorm and it absolutely hounded it down. They do promise 60% chance of rain here. I'm making my way back into Austria to the Grossglockner Pass and then down to a place called Dvor. I'll try and get some video to start off with. I'll certainly put some new batteries in for the Grossglockner and see if we can get that. But other than that, it's going to be long and boring motorways again. So we'll see what we can get and hopefully catch up soon. Bye for now. As we have quite a long way to go to get to the pass, and I make a stop or two on the way, I thought I'd break up the relive video with some video of my own. Interestingly, the route that I took was 70 miles, according to the GPS. If you measure the distance on Google Maps, the distance is only 36 miles. The joys of riding in mountainous areas. Not that I minded, as the route following the valleys and low passes was lovely. I mean, who wouldn't enjoy riding beautifully smooth tarmac, lovely sweeping corners, and on roads with little or no traffic, with great scenery? There was also the added bonus of popping out from a piece of woodland or coming round a blind corner to be confronted by a majestic snow-capped mountain. The only fly in that particular ointment was the number of small settlements and commensurate speed limits. Don't mistake me. I'm all for driving considerately where you're passing people's front doors, taking care when there are pedestrians about. But, as I've said before, having long stretches of 50 kilometers an hour or 30 kilometers an hour does take time. Still, had I wanted to get there quickly, I could have flown, taken an aeroplane, but I wouldn't have liked that. Back again, and on this little busy road we're about on the start of the Grossglockner High Alpenstrasse, which is the high alpine road that takes us over these set of mountains. and the world and his wife are going up there. So without further ado, I shall stick you back on the helmet and set off. Oh, by the way, I think there's a €33 toll. Never mind. Now we've done the painful bit and my wallet has been lightened. What is the Grossglockner? The Grossglockner High Alpine Road, or Grossglockner Hochalpenstrasse as it is known, is a paved road between Bulk in the state of Salzburg and Heiligenbert in Carinthia. It goes via the Fuschertroll and Grossglockner Pass. It is Austria's highest surfaced mountain pass and is named after the Grossglockner mountain, which is Austria's highest mountain. The road starts in Bruck and goes to the northern toll booth at Verleiten. It then goes over the Grossglockner Pass. On the way, at Fuschertroll, there is a dead-end road which takes you just less than a mile to the Edelweiss-Spitze, a viewpoint. The road then crosses the Alpine Divide in a tunnel, and then there is another branch off to Kaiser Franz Joseph Ho, a viewpoint and visitor centre. I missed that bit out. And then drops down to Heiligenbert. Plans for the road were mooted in 1924. But the Austrian experts who suggested it were ridiculed. Austria had suffered very badly economically following the First World War. At that time, let's just think a little bit about how many people might have used this. First perspective, in Austria, Germany and Italy, there were only 154,000 private cars, 92,000 motorcycles, and altogether 1,200 miles of long-distance roads. Even a single-track road with passing places seemed too costly. However, the New York Stock Exchange then collapsed, and the consequent economic damage caused to the Austrian economy wreaked havoc. When unemployment reached 26%, the plans for the road were revised. It was intended to provide employment for 3,200 people. The project was extended to create a 6-metre wide road, which was enough for cars to pass. And this was done for the excessive international traffic. That phrase was roundly mocked. But it was believed that there would be 120,000 visitors a year. Currently, it's estimated that there are approximately 900,000 visitors a year. Building commenced in 1930. 4 years later, the provincial head of government, Franz Röhl, who was the main political driving force behind the construction, and Franz Wallach, the engineer who was responsible for designing and building the road, crossed the graded road. A year later, it was open completely. It is estimated that at 1990 rates the road cost 910 million Austrian shilling, or 66 million euro. That was under budget by 7 million Austrian shilling. The Austrian government advanced the money to create the road, on the understanding that the tolls for the road would repay the debt. As I said, the planners expected 120,000 visitors per annum, but in 1938 there were 375,000 visitors in 98,000 vehicles, 25% of which were motorcycles. After World War II, it was not until 1952 that this was surpassed, with 412,000 visitors in 91,000 vehicles. In 1962, there were 360,000 vehicles and 1.3 million people crossed the pass. The opening of other roads, notably motorways, has somewhat reduced the number of people using the pass now. The pass itself is normally open from the beginning of May until the end of October. Obviously, being a high pass, it is subject to a lot of snow. In 1936 and 37, there were 350 men who shovelled 250,000 cubic metres of snow to keep at least one lane open. Since 1953, 5 rotary ploughs and a team of 12 workers shift between 600,000 and 800,000 cubic metres of snow during 14 days in April to have the pass open and ready to go for May. Here we are. I've arrived at the top of the Edelweisspitze. At a height of a little over 2,500 metres, it is, as you can see, still well above the snow line. Even in May there's a lot of snow about. I'd love to say that my superb motorcycle clothing meant that I was perfectly warm, but I'd be lying. As for most of the time I was going to be a lot lower in altitude and hopefully enjoying a lot of sun, my clothing was chosen to stay cool, which meant at the top of the pass I was freezing my bits off. Still, once at the top, the only way is down, right? And that should be warmer, so let's go. Setting off down the pass, I still had nearly 200 miles to go before I'd reach my hotel for the night. I'll share with you some of the road on the way down to the end of the toll road, but I think once I've done that I'm going to leave you, as this video is turning into a bit of a mammoth. You might be wondering, as there's a lot of snow about, was I worried about ice on the road? I think perhaps I might have been, but in truth the road was certainly wet in places, but I didn't see anywhere that was actually any ice on the road surface. I don't know whether the Austrians treat the surface with anything like salt as we do in the UK, or whether it was just efficient cleaning and shifting the snow and then the heat of the sun that kept the road clear. Whichever, I'm very grateful, because riding on ice is not fun at all. The small building with a pyramidal roof is a monument to the workers who lost their lives during the building of the road. As we pass the end of the toll road section, you can see from the graphic just how much further I had to go. As you watch the relive graphic, I ought to point out a couple of things. You may have noticed that Relive like to show you highlights on the route, highest point, anywhere photos have been taken, and the fastest speed. However, this is taken from the GPS device on the bike, and from time to time it's not really accurate. I mean, did you really think my poor little Himalayan could achieve a speed of 384 miles an hour? Nope, not at all. Most likely this was caused when the satellites lost track of me for an instant or two. The photo stop was done for a couple of friends. It's taken in Bled, Slovenia. They regularly holiday there, so I thought I'd post a picture on Facebook at that point. Actually, although it was beautiful, it was also very crowded, and getting into and out of the town was a bit of a chore. With hindsight, I might not have bothered. Oh, and the 60% chance of rain? On this day I got lucky and avoided any rain at all. Well, that's all I have for you. I hope you've enjoyed this video, long as it is. If you have, please consider giving a like and subscribe maybe, and then possibly even hit the notification button so you get told when I've made another video. That's all I've got for you. Thank you very, very much for watching, and catch you next time.